So we are going to hope this works well. It's looking like everyone has good ping and not going to have any lag. So it looks like it'll
Mhm.
work really well. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zeke co-casting with me. How's it going, man?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
All right.
Um.
Looks
Yeah.
like
Great.
we settle on civs. Iroquois versus Brits. This is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see this matchup every day, but it should be pretty interesting. Brits is gonna try to probably defend early, I would guess, versus
hmm
Iroquois aggression. We'll see exactly how it plays out, though.
Yeah. Probably. Like this map is not a really stagecoach map, so maybe. Well, for EO, it's possible to go like fishing in the Age One. Actually, let's see if it's possible for Castes.
Yeah, it is possible. If it's a wood start, it's more likely, but I
Yeah.
I don't really expect that on this map. Of course, it is a possibility, like we were saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I would expect like Casted would be like rather standard player and playing standard. I mean.
Yeah.
So probably not, maybe. Yeah, let's see what's the start. Looks like a full start.
Yeah, looking at the hunts, um, looks like it's pretty fair.
Yeah, it's fine to me.
Yeah, it looks good. All right, so looks like we're getting going. It's yeah, I'm excited for this. All right, so Forjustice, Lecastete, very good players, both of them. I think this should be a pretty close match, based just on the players and their strength. Looking
Yep.
at the civilizations, it's 40 coin and now 40 XP over to Forjustice. 40 wood for Lecastete, and he's picking up 90 food here. I really like that 90 food from him.
Oh yeah, should be pretty insane age of time. Like Euro is on a food start. Wait,
Yeah.
he's chopping some wood. I would expect that. Uh, oh, actually, it's a wood star. Never mind. Yeah, so he's dropping down a trading post.
Yeah, and he got the wood,
Middle.
the wood treasure, which is going to help him out even more too.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty nice start for him.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
his like the hero is getting the snare on the war chief. This
Yeah,
is a problem for him.
yeah, he's going to get the TP up though. He's got his bear coming. It's the bear's probably going to be sniped if there's a sharpshooter
hmm
ability left from the British explorer. But we'll see what happens here. The war chief is just deciding to fight it out there once he hits H2
Oh
over live.
yeah, it's pretty nice timing.
That was perfect timing.
Yeah,
I'd
well
like to
played.
think that wasn't like coincidence or anything. I don't think it was. Just super fast reaction time. Really well done from him
Yeah,
there.
he should be focused on this like his hero because the war chief is pretty huge.
Yeah,
I mean the hit point error
yeah,
and yeah, but just his backing.
yeah. We see that British went with a market start. Of course, a
hmm
manor. It looks like okay, so the longhouse went up with the Travois. So yeah, really
Yep.
nice start from Lecastete. That's
hmm
gonna help him out a whole lot. TP with only having to chop 60 wood is amazing.
Yeah, pretty nice start.
Yeah.
And Forjustice did some damage to the War Chief and also have a market start, so not bad as well.
We see that Forjustice has is getting gang saw. He
Oh,
is going before
hmm
even start aging, but
yep.
I'm guessing he's going to have little to no idle TC time. He's probably timed it really well, and he does. Yeah, so really
Yeah, it's a
nicely
pretty
done from
nice
him.
trick for British.
Yeah. If you get enough food and it just works out right, you can get it right before you start aging. So really
Yeah,
well done from him. Just maximizing his villager seconds really. Yeah.
this villager, I
I,
would expect it's a herding one.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
all right.
you can also build manners forward. Gives a little bit
Yeah.
of help there. He might do Might do a forward base somewhere around there. We'll see what he does. I expect it to be
Oh
more in
yeah, I
base though.
see. He didn't scout his like hunt on here, so he started to hurting this one.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, fair decision.
No, I think that's fine. You want to herd one. I mean, you only have so much in base, so I think it's a really good decision to
Mm-hmm.
herd it. He is definitely against Iroquois. I would definitely put my barracks in base.
Yeah,
If that
definitely.
was what he's going
Well,
for.
looks like Eero is like doing a slow age, so probably it's fine to put the Rex here, I would say.
Yeah.
But we have to.
I don't know. Iroquois gets tons of units out really fast, and ideally, the advantage that Brits has over Iroquois is that their economy is going to be stronger. So I expect to try to ride the fine line between booming just enough and defending just enough.
Yeah,
So
pretty
he ups
good
with the
point.
outpost, 200 coin. He does a barracks in base.
Mhm.
I think that's smart. If you did a
Yep.
barracks forward, you would be forced to make more units early.
But actually, the hunt is still like forward. I mean, not in base right now.
That's true.
So
It's not super far away. I think he'll be fine if he's really, really on top of hurting well.
yeah, sure. Yeah, and he's also hurting the bottom hunt, so should be fine for him.
Yeah,
And Castex also hurt pretty nice. Has like a one bottom hunt towards his base, and Longhouse controlling, at least giving line of sight at here, like the another hunt.
true. He did have
Oh,
slightly
the
easier
Canyon.
hunts to herd, so really nice for him. Yeah, the Kanya come out, and he's going to pick up this 100 food treasure. That's going to be a nice
Pretty
pickup.
nice.
That's basically a
Yep.
free Ana or Tomahawk if he decides.
War Chief is not using. Oh, he
He
is
is.
right
He
now.
is.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe shift click or some bug, as usual.
Could be. It also could have had it recharging,
And
although
now
unlikely.
start Pike. Okay.
I think that's a good choice versus
Yep, I
Iroquois.
respect this decision.
Yeah, yeah. Versus Iroquois, you expect some Kanye Horsemen to come out first or second
Yeah,
card in
probably.
H2. Getting a little bit of pikes out just to defend that is really nice.
Yeah. And now it's Longbow. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, the position. Yeah, and Anina moving into the base as well. And Forjustice is trying to defend
Yeah,
with
really good
Pike
micro
and
from both players. I really like this. The villagers going out, I don't like that. But
yeah.
it's really, really close. I think
Minuteman, yeah,
Minutemen's
this
called.
is.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
And the 5 villager? Yeah, it is. Both sending 5 villager. So it's like, oh, killing the war chief is pretty nice.
Yeah, plus 100 XP, you'll always be happy with that. It also significantly hurts the opponent's army strength.
Yeah.
Minus 10% HP on that is really nice.
Yeah. And oh, Eero is like attacking those manors, like which giving more XP than the normal, than the previous patch.
Yeah, the manners give a lot more XP than previous patch. They are really nice to take down. Of course, if you are max manners, it's nice to be able. The Brits player isn't gonna mind. He does not have Virginia Company though, so I think it's a really good choice to burn these down.
Yeah, but Justice actually now is propped, so with losing this manor, he will definitely need more manor for population.
That's true. He does ship 600 wood though, so he should be fine doing that.
Yep.
He is booming quite hard and going longbowman. He has a few musks there. I think that's a good choice in this matchup.
Longbow,
Yeah.
yep, pretty much.
Yeah, versus Iroquois, you expect a lot of infantry. The Aina are better versus heavy infantry than the longbows, just based on their 2 times multiplier. But it should be really close here. If you look at the economies, it's 33 to 26. So we see Iroquois providing lots of early aggression, but going 3 vills, 5 vills, 600 wood, definitely trying to get enough economy out. And the TP on top of that is actually pretty close currently, but we'll see if the Brits are able to make it even more of a difference.
Another batch of fight Kenya trying to raid, but yeah, nice reaction time, pulling back, losing only one. Okay.
Yeah, I
And
think this
checking
is
the
gonna be.
compound.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think like Hashtag is really like aware of like British need a lot of hunt, So he's constantly checking the hunts like on the map. So it's pretty well done by him, and he's massing more army behind. And Forjustice is pushing out. Oh, actually, it's yeah, he's pulling back.
Yeah, it's really close. I think he needs a little. Oh, the 5 Hussar pop. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
it is.
That's
There is.
pretty much all Aina from Lecastete. Of course, there's Kanya's, but not very many Tomahawks. So really, really good choice to add some of those in.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And more. Yep, that's 6 Musk. Whoa.
Yeah, 6 must shipped. This is a really hard timing push from Forjustice. He has the economy lead. He has the military lead. We'll see if that translates into some quick map control by him.
Well, Euro does has a lot of Anina, and like British is like Musk heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should. I believe the fight would be better for Euro, but Euro do not have his war chief, which is quite big. I'd like him to trying to like use the Kenya to like he would like what he's doing.
Yeah, he's grabbing the war chief with his Kanya. Really nicely done. I'm curious whether I'm pretty sure more cav is going to be in queue. Yes, that is 3 in queue.
Yep.
So we're gonna see Hussar and muskets versus probably Aina and Tomahawk mass would be my guess. You don't want to go too many Kanya horsemen. Very expensive, very wood heavy. 100 food, 75
Another
wood.
unit shipment by Brit. So
Alrighty.
Looks like a timing push, I would say.
I think that's a good choice. Iroquois is fairly limited in their economic options in Age 2. So once you have the economic advantage, just try to make sure you have enough military out and you should win.
Yeah. And also Forjustice taking a trading post as well, so preventing the opponent playing with the stagecoach, or at least can have a better one.
Yeah, that's really nice of him. Yeah.
So right now British has more military, so he should be able to like go out and hunting. I mean, at least get this hunt. Like,
yeah, he's playing this really safe. I would try. He is pushing out. I think it's a good choice. At this point in the game, he should know that he has a slightly better military, or slightly stronger military, I should say. That's really he's wanting to play it safe though. He knows that he has a better economy for sure. So I think it's okay, but he has the stronger military. He probably should push out some.
He should better, I mean, try to see if Euro maybe plan to age up, because Euro still has fast age to the fortress. So he should constantly trying to like push out a little bit and trying to see if like Euro has not a lot of army, then you can like trying to destroy the trading post, the forward base. Like upgrade for the musket is coming out.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, he was kind of checking the opponent, make sure that he wasn't going to H3. And H3, he would have perhaps stronger units with the Forest Prowlers and the option to go Musket Riders too. So I like that choice. We'll see if not pushing out, despite having the stronger military, is gonna make a difference. There is, of course, defender's advantage if Forjustice pushes on top of Lecastete's forward base, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Looks like he might be going forward here.
Yeah, great. Upgrade card for Euro is coming as well. So the army strength, I would say, it's pretty close.
Yeah, 71 to 63. The war chief does a lot. We see that Forjustice is trying to focus him down with the longbows. Well done by him. We'll see what happens of this fight. Definitely defender's advantage over to Lecastete, although he has the smaller military at the onset of this fight.
Yeah, and that should be pretty close. And Tomahawk is going to melee, trying to. And the Huss is pulling back.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a better fight to Brit, I would say.
Yeah, you can see his military population just pretty much staying the same, losing a little bit, but we see Lecastete is going down a lot. It's definitely stronger military for Brits, and we see that it looks like Lecastete's army is going to be all cleaned up. We'll see what he does after this.
That's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, all of
Let's see
the
if more
all of the Hussar
more
were
possible.
tanking for Forjustice, and that was really really nice from him.
Yep.
We see Lecastete
Yeah.
calling it GG.
Calling it
Well
GG.
played. That was
Yeah, pretty nice.
a pretty simple, pretty straightforward, not a lot of back and forth game. Honestly,
Yeah.
if Lecastete doesn't take the advantage early versus Brits, I don't see how Brits would lose that fight.
Yeah.
I
And
suppose
maybe he should like add another warhut to trying to mass more infantry versus the army composition for Brit.
that's a possibility. He was not. He opted for the corral,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
it's
I,
a
I
little bit
think
questionable, but if he pushed earlier, might be okay with like lots of Kenya and like arena. But like after Brit getting out of the stable, so he is forced to making tomahawk, which is like rather weak again. I mean, in range fire, and
perhaps that
so
was part of the reason why Forjustice went pikes into longbows, is trying
yeah.
to force Lecastete to go into a corral. And if that
Oh,
actually is what happened, then that was really, really nice play from him. Because you really don't want, as Iroquois, to be forced to build some Kanya horsemen, but if the opponent has lots of longbow, you probably should. So, yeah, 100 food,
yeah, good
75 wood,
point.
very expensive cavalry unit. He made some more later on in the game, too. Ideally,
Yeah,
you're not going
uh,
that as Iroquois. They're weaker than Hussar to start with. We can look at some of the stats here. It's 285 HP and 27 attack compared to the Hussar, which is
mhm.
320 HP, 30 attack, and arguably cheaper. It's really really close. 120 food, 80 coin as opposed to 100 food, 75 wood. But
Yeah.
for the stat difference, the Hussar is just simply better.
Hmm. Yeah, Brit just have like better eco and getting out more units and like has the one upgrade card and trying to push and like Euro has not enough army and being caught. I mean being clean, which is the game.
Yeah. Really well
Okay.
played by them. We see For Justice taking game number one. We're going to get into game two shortly.
Hmm.
So the next map, what map is it?
The Lumaco,
Okay.
pretty simple map, I would say.
Yeah, Limico, it is fairly simple. It's fairly straightforward. We usually see someone
Yeah.
doing an FF type strategy here.
Hmm.
It's very possible to not do an FF, but if you do have to make sure that you secure hunts. Your window of opportunity is fairly limited in age 3. We'll see what these players do though. Some civilizations like Ottomans are pretty common. Spanish is fairly common. China is fairly common. Yeah, we'll see
Yep.
what these
Yeah,
players
should
do.
be Ninja picking first.
Yeah, we see that For Justice is picking first. Like Estet just mentioning that.
Hmm. Euro being picked.
Iroquois. Interesting. So Iroquois on this map, I'm not sure if he's going to FF or if he's going to do forward aggression H2. Both are options for sure.
Yeah, both are possible.
I think it's kind of just a safe pick, something that it allows you to do both options, play the game fairly differently depending on what your opponent tries to counterpick with.
Sure, Euro is pretty strong. I mean, pick. It can like not nearly not being counter. Okay, France.
French
So
into it.
another standard matchup.
I like this pick because it's flexible into whatever Iroquois does.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I I would I don't know. It's interesting. For early on, France is going to have the better economy.
Hmm. Yeah,
In an
that's true.
FF, if there are cannons for France in age 3, he should have the advantage over Iroquois. We'll see what happens though. There's lots of
Hmm.
different options available, and see how this
Yeah,
game plays out.
and also in later fortress, like though Euro has a strong unit, the forest power. Like France do have the counter unit, the cuirassé, which is also pretty strong. So it's a overall close matchup. Oh, it looks like a wood start. So it's basically the Euro on official like 200 wood starts. That's pretty. insane.
Yeah, on this map, you always start with plus 100 wood. So really
Yeah.
nice there. It's an additional wood start. So it's 300 wood start for France and a 200 wood start for Iroquois. Iroquois is going
Hmm.
for a TP straight away. Should use that Travois for a long house. And on the other
Yeah,
hand, France
most
building a
likely.
TP in the house himself.
So France is playing safe, taking this trading post, which is like not getting the first pass. Yeah, I'm not super sure. I believe the first pass is for in the middle.
Yeah,
For
the
Justice, will
first pass
definitely make it.
is actually on the bottom right. So we see that Forjustice is missing this first pass. Pretty rough
Hmm.
from him. Really well done. We see this
Oh,
TP as one of the first one usually gone up or first getting XP. So well
yeah.
done from Lecastete. As for Justice, if he's going for age to aggression and he knew the map well, he should probably go for the middle TP.
Yeah,
But
that's the point.
yeah, well, we'll see what he does. It could be some more age three, like an FF type
Possible. Yeah,
situation.
possible. That's pretty possible.
Yeah.
And 100 coin would definitely be good for that.
Yeah, we see Lecastete. We'll look at the treasures picked up so far. It is 40 coin and 100 coin over for Justice, 50 food for
Hmm.
Lecastete. The coin is perhaps going to help a little bit with like hunting dogs and steel traps if he's going for H2, or it could help for an FF situation. We'll see what they
Yeah,
do. I kind of expect France to open up with 3 Vills, 4 Vills, or 3 CDB, 4 CDB, and then
yeah,
try to respond to
probably.
what the opponent does.
Yeah, yeah, that's the most likely one. So Euro taking the safer but less greedier, I mean, trading post. So probably he will go straight fast fortress or like a faster semi.
Yeah, we'll take a
That's my
look at
opinion.
his deck real quick. It does. It's definitely a decent FF deck. I'll say that
Mm-hmm.
much. Obviously, you
True.
could make it work H2 with the one thing. Really interesting is he has extensive fortifications 1 and 2.
Yeah, he always like this, like,
He also
and even
has
the math in
this.
it.
This theoretically might be a fast industrial or a semi-fast industrial.
Yeah, but actually he do use this deck for playing even H2 and in previous series, I
Oh
believe.
yeah. Okay.
It should be his standard deck. A little bit weird, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely unusual having agrarian waste. It does allow the potential for a fast industrial or a semi-fast industrial.
Yeah.
Having infinite 1500 crates is really nice in a fast industrial type situation. He also has the ability to get lots of war huts out and also send heavy fortifications. We'll
Yeah,
see
that
what he
would
does with
be
this.
an interesting play.
Yeah, not expected, but if you do an FF, your opponent responds with an FF, you have the ability to go for a fast industrial. It is a possibility.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. And we can see France is getting both players are using the slow age. I mean, Euro is using the slow age, and France is doing the standard age up.
Yeah,
Quartermaster or wood.
yeah. To be
Mm.
clear, I do not expect a fast industrial ever in a 1v1, but it is a possibility. That's all I was trying to say.
Yeah, it's
Maybe a
possible
10%
for like
possibility.
maybe auto or I guess not for Euro.
Iroquois actually they can do it fairly safely. You go 3 Vils, you could do something like 3 Vils 800 resources or 3 Vils 600 coin. You get 5 Vils in there somewhere, and then you send 1200, and then you can age up pretty seamlessly actually. I've tried it a couple times, and
Oh.
it's better than you'd expect for sure. It's not something you ever expect to see, obviously, but yeah, it's half
Yeah.
decent.
And Euro is jobbing down a second training post, so I would believe he will play a little bit. I mean, H2, trying to even kill. I mean, kill the training post for casted, and then like going to the fourth.
Yeah, on this map, if you are able to gain map control and not fall behind too far economic in ages tech wise, it can be really
Mhm.
nice to do that. You're gonna have a huge lead just having map control, and if you don't fall behind militarily or technologically, then you're gonna have a huge up on your opponent.
Yeah, and looks like Eero put the Warheart in the base, at least close to the base, and the French is putting a little bit forward Rex, maybe trying to siege down the middle training post,
Yeah,
punish the greedy of Forjustice.
that's an interesting choice to put that war hut there. We did see the explorer from Lecastete out and perhaps would have been able to snare that Travois and slow it down some, but he could have put it more forward if he had so decided. We see that for Kanya is the first
Mm-hmm.
shipment in age 2.
Mm-hmm.
He does have villagers on coin, which signifies to me an FF. As
Yeah,
Iroquois, you do not have villagers on coin unless you're getting like some upgrades or something. None of your units in age 2 cost coin. So that
yeah.
it
So
definitely
point
signifies
is,
as semi FF at least for me.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, probably. And Castex is reacting with some musks. It's pretty decent choice. Probably 10 musk semi.
Could be. Looking at his economy, he has 4 villagers on coin. He could send 700 coin next, or he could continue with muskets. It's just a safe approach from him. We saw the super slow Kanya horseman being slowed down by the war chief. We do see that there's going to be a little bit of aggression here. We'll see how the players respond to this.
The Eagle Eye ability from the Eagle Chief and 10 musk who should be able to push them back.
Yeah. Okay, so they push back. They don't want to be caught out. Despite that, Forjustice does not have any more units out. So I like this
Yeah.
read from Forjustice. He makes the opponent think that he's possibly going for some early aggression, when in reality he is doing an FF. Looking at Lecastete, he does not have any villagers on coin. He did just send 700 coin. Let's see what he
So
tries to do with this. If he doesn't use this coin to age up, he could be far behind.
it's pretty old. Like Castex did have a 5 hash patch, and he will probably age up with like later on with the 600 coin. I would guess, or if he can do enough damage, he may also stay in H2.
It is really nice that he has the scout right in front of the war hut. He is able to see if any
Yeah,
units are popped.
yeah,
It
that's
is
a very good point.
it is unusual to see French fighting in age 2 versus an Iroquois in age 3. That's not something you see every day, but that's what's going to happen. We'll see if Lecastete is able to punish this, though. Yeah, it could be rough for Justice in the next few minutes.
Yeah, let's see how Forjustice can defend this. Looks like it's still fine at this moment, but the Age of Traval may be killed by those army, and Casted is adding Pike. Huh, interesting.
Yeah, he needs just a bit more food for a big button. That's the second villager to go down. He is
Yeah.
gathering coin, which is a very interesting choice. I'm not quite sure why he's doing that. I think it's going to be able to push this back, though. No reinforcements coming. We'll see what damage can be done by Lecastete before Forjustice does this.
The
Gathering
first shipment.
Gathering coin is a dead giveaway that he is going to age 3. Obviously, without military units, it could have been expected already, but you're not going to be gathering coin for any other reason.
Yeah. And the Castex is able to age at right now, and he has like, oh, it's more than 5. It's actually 6 Pike trying to take down the trading post.
Yeah, it's that's interesting. A lot of pikes over there. We do see For Justice aged up to fast to age 3. So it's For Justice is on the back foot here. We'll see what he does with it. Okay, 5 Musket Riders. That's a good choice out
Yeah.
first. I like that.
Yeah.
We'll see. It should be Forest Prowlers and Musket Riders would be my guess.
And the Forest Prowler is in queue. And those Pike did take down the middle trading post, and now it's trying to take down the next one.
Yeah, picks up the For Justice picks up the Explorer from
Or
Lecastete, and that looks really good. The Musket Riders, if microed here, should have no problem with this army. Faster than the Pikes and counters the cavalry really well. Oh,
Can't connect with the Maxi Ready. Oh,
oh,
wow, that's a powerful guy.
yeah, that was a really, really good ability
And
shot from the
Power
Iroquois War Chief.
farming the XP from the Explorer again.
Yeah, nicely done. Lecastete is in age 3 now. We'll see what he does with this. I would say in age 3 there's an advantage over to French being able to have the Falconets, but it's going to be close. Forest Prowlers are very, very strong. French has pretty decent skirmishers. We'll see the deck from Lecastete. He has one card for them, so yeah. He does have the Jaegers. That's really
Yeah, I
important to
just
point
wanted
out.
to mention this. Like Jaeger is pretty good against, I mean, Forest Prowler. At least you can have a lead in the skirmisher war.
Yeah. Iroquois does not have any cannons in age 3. Having Jaegers is a nice option versus the expected army composition of Forest Prowlers and Musket Riders. So, yeah, looks good from him. We see 8 skirmishers come out, 8 Forest Prowlers come out from both players.
So he's skirm from both player actually.
Yeah. So, this is pretty close, although Lecastete does have the defender's advantage. The Cav come on top of the Forest Prowlers a little bit late to read. Yeah.
Pretty dice.
Yeah, comparing the stats of these units, it's 151 HP, 20 attack, 20 range for the Forest Prowlers currently. It is 144 HP, 18 attack, 20 range from the French skirmishers. So the Forest Prowlers are a little bit stronger. Economy is definitely stronger for France, but it's not as much of a difference as I would perhaps expect with Iroquois not going super heavy on the eco. And also losing 2 villagers.
Rio did send the 5L, which is equal to the 4 CDB, so the eco should be close, but Lecastete did a few damage to the during when Forjustice aging, so he should have a lead. Oh, this Longhouse could like provide some line of sight to the like upcoming raid and distracting with it.
Yeah, 6 Kanya Horsemen shipped. That's a good choice. Make sure the opponent invests into some goons and doesn't go straight skirmishers. Really well done from him. Yeah, he placed that longhouse early on. That was the first longhouse he built with the Travois, and that was the intended advantage, being able to see any incoming raids.
Maybe even ward this choke. It's pretty easy. Just cost a little bit. Yeah, the native scout did a lot of scouting.
Yeah, really well done from him there. Looking at the economies, it is a 6 lead for Lecastete, 38 to 32, and militarily, definite lead for Iroquois here. But France has a little bit more skirmishers out, which is better in a army composition fight like this.
So, and the War Chief is okay. War Chief is coming now, and they should do another Eagle Eye.
Yeah, War Chief ability is really nice.
Cannon.
Oh, the War Chief is on 14 HP. Really, really well done. Lecastete was focusing him just enough so the War Chief wasn't able to get the shot out. Really well done from him. We see the Kanya Horsemen coming forward, and they back off after taking down the...
Pretty nice micro from Lecastete, focusing down the Musket Rider. So it's on for the skirm.
Yeah, we see it as 18 skirmishers out for Lecastete and 10 Forest Prowlers out for Forjustice. Despite the Forest Prowlers being strong enough, that is not enough to make a difference there.
Yeah, that's too much. So, yeah, pretty nice play. But you need to better control amount of goons or the Musket Rider and focusing on the skirm. Does he has another barracks? So probably... Let me see. Yeah, both skirmish shipment from France, so definitely have a skirmish lead. And now getting the Falconet.
Nice.
From Forjustice.
Yeah, the Falconets is where it really kicks in with the military advantage H3. We do see the Mantlets out from Forjustice. Perhaps that's his answer to the cannons. They do true damage to units, being an artillery unit, and at the same time the Falconets do true damage to them. Obviously the cannons have a lot more range than the Mantlets, but we'll see what happens in this upcoming fight.
Oh, losing the War Chief is pretty huge.
Yeah, for sure. Mantlets coming up, just tanking damage, trying to focus.
Nice by Lecastete.
My biggest concern is the Falconets have not been focused at all. You're always going to lose this fight if the Falconets stay up. So perhaps Forjustice is already considering this a lost fight. I'm not sure. It's really really interesting
No,
of him,
this is
though.
a pretty good fight for Lecastete. Yep.
Yeah.
And he's calling it. GG. Okay, pretty well played by Castet, showing the exact counter build. I mean, counter strategy against the Eero semi.
Yeah, yeah, well played by him. Like we were saying in the loading screen, France is just a good option into Iroquois here. You're able
Mm-hmm.
to respond to whatever they do. If they do some early aggression, it's a decent civilization for defending. With the CDB having a lot of HP, you're able to fight with them. Gives you some ability to defend really, really well. They also have a obviously, well, not obviously, but they do have a better economy than
Yeah.
Iroquois. Iroquois has one of the worst economies in game, and France, while not having a super amazing economy such as Brits or something, it's definitely above average.
Mm-hmm.
The Falconets just gives you a huge advantage in H3 too.
Yeah. Also, Castet did outgather for Justice quite a lot. I would say maybe it's cost the idle time in the town center during the age up for Eero.
A
So
little bit, yeah, but I mean that's just for justice. We do see looking at the shipments, we see that it was 3 crate shipments sent out from Lecastete and only
yeah.
one from For Justice. But yeah, a close game in some ways. We see that game 1 and game 2 came down to the player that had the better economy. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens in H3. I'm curious if that's the going to be the theme of this match.
Yeah. So actually, both players are using the Fort Kenya as a first aggression and trying to do some eco afterwards, which seemed not working.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but the Kanya early is a pretty good card. We see that both players is responded well to the Kanya coming out
Yeah,
early, though.
pretty well defended by both players against Eero. So yeah, maybe it's a interesting decision to whether or not going for Kenya because you are aging with slow age, right? So the for Kenya actually can't do a lot of damage.
All right, Germans picked up first. This is
Yeah.
interesting. On this map, we see some players doing an FF type situation, but really, it's a map that favors heavy aggression early. It's very open, pretty much impossible to wall anything, and
Yeah.
there's lots of TPs on the map that you can gain from map control.
Wow.
Japan.
Like, like waiting for the Japs and for just doing so.
I like that choice. I like that choice a lot. Japan
Pretty cool.
on this map is actually really strong. Lots and lots of hunts. You're not going to be lacking in the ability to put shrines out. It does allow your
Mm-hmm.
opponent to do an FF type build, though. So we'll see what he does from that, though.
Also, it depends on whether it's a 4 training post in the middle or 2 from on both sides. It's pretty huge on this matchup because like Japan can't really take a trading post. You should, but it's possible still
It is
with the four
possible.
300.
Well, we'll see. It is a split trade route, in fact. Looking
Mm-hmm.
at the map, we'll make sure it's pretty fair. I'll do that once it allows me to.
Sure, yeah, and so this is the playoff 5 series between Forjustice and the Lecastete. It's the final series for week 4, and this is the third match. The score is currently 1-1. So this is third match. Let's see which player can get a lead, like before the SID reset.
Yeah, 1-1 for Justice and Lecastete, both taking a game. The stronger economies won in both game 1 and game 2. On this map, I find it really interesting that For Justice did not scout with his second starting Cherry Orchard Rickshaw.
Yeah.
Very interesting choice there. It was a food start. Nonetheless, we see Germany going for a market start. Looking at the resources picked up, Lecastete picks up 40 XP, so he goes a market without having any treasures and not being a wood start or a coin start. That is unusual. That's really unusual.
Well, it's fine versus Japan, which will basically not going super aggressive, I would say.
Yeah, Zuda, thanks so much for the subscription. We appreciate you, man.
Oh.
You're one of the best
Yeah.
supporters of this channel.
Thanks,
and Age of
thanks
Empires
for the
3.
constant support to the community, and it's all you guys helping us so we can still have a greater and greater community right now.
Yeah, this Age of Empires 3 community has grown as of late, and it's really really nice to watch that. Looking at the map, we see we didn't mention this before, but there's a lot of more mines on the southwest bottom left part of the map here than the top right.
Yeah.
Players that are familiar with this map and prepare for this map usually put their forward bases edging a little bit more towards that side due to that.
Reason. Yeah.
I expect Germany to do that. Germany needs a lot of mines on this map. A lot more mines are on the south. If he has prepared for this map, he's going to put his forward base closer to that side.
And well, let's see. I would believe, yeah, it's a 300 wood start for the Forjustice, so not a super eco build, but still possible.
Yeah,
Let's see.
it's interesting for sure. Looking at, he did get 100 XP, so he could actually send 300 wood and probably Heavenly Kami if he decides to in Age 1, and still get a decent amount out. So I like the choice. 300 wood does generally signify a little bit more aggression than a all-out shrine boom kind of strategy. So we'll see what he does with it, though. If with Germany in this situation versus a Japan, you have a few options. You either need to do an FF and do a really strong timing push early Age 3, or you need to get some pikes out early, or DOPS for that matter. Get them out early and siege some of the shrines, keep the opponent's economy low, and then perhaps do a semi-FF type of thing. As Japan in this situation, you have some options for sure. You definitely want to take the economic lead. You have the tools to do so, but we'll see what he does.
Japan is aging up with the Toshugo's run, so however, he shrine his first starting hunt with 2 shrine before. It will be no shrine, no animal for his like big shrine for his wonder.
That's a really good point. The natives on this map are Inca and Carib. They do not allow you to get any hunts or anything like the like. Right. Yeah, I was noticing that earlier. It's really strange. Perhaps he did not plan ahead as much as he could have with that starting shrine. I do like the position of the shrine. Defending or providing a lot of unit pathing problems for any attacks coming in.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is a point. So maybe it has a protective effect for his base, but like actually, if you're gonna age to like fortress or even industrial with the like classic age up wonder, the shogunate, it's pretty hard to put down the wonder actually because you don't have enough space.
Yeah, that's a good point. Looking at the decks real quick, we see that Lecastete has definitely more of an Age 3 deck than an Age 2. But he does have some tools in Age 2 if he decides to do so. Germany in Age 2, you don't want to stay Age 2 too long. Looking at Japan's deck, it's fairly flexible between Age 2, Age 3, and Age 4 even. Having 16 Yumi in Age 4 is an interesting card. Not something you always expect, but yeah, all the options are open on the table for both players. I don't expect Germany to stay Age 2 too long, but we'll see what happens here.
Looking at like the Age 1 card for Forjustice, so it's quite simple that like he won't go the classic Kami build. You can see like there's even no Kami in the card. In the deck.
Yeah, that's a really good point. No Heavenly Kami means that he is not trying to go for a really hard shrine boom for sure.
Yep, and he switched to the Japan consulate after the port consulate, which give him the boost to the age up. So now let's see what's his plan.
Yeah, looking at units in queue, we see some crossbow in queue from Germany. That is not expected. I did not expect that at all. I don't even know what he's going to do with that. I guess he's expecting maybe some
Ashy
Um,
push?
I guess you want to be
I'm
going some
sure
pikes or
there
dops
is.
or something. You want to get some pikes or dops out to try to take out some of the shrines, but yeah,
Hope almost gets the like snare by the clubs, but like Cassidy's reacting in good time, so
yeah.
not being snared. And getting out some crossbow should be nice against those clubs and Ashy.
Maybe Crossbowman was the right answer first if the trade post
Yeah,
from Germany is going to be sieged down with these clubs
yeah,
and
good point.
Ashy. Um, yeah, definitely a better player than I am. He has a
Well, maybe he did some expect for Justice playstyle, the classic 4-bill.
yeah, it
So
could be.
probably
He also
he
he got a second batch of crossbow axe, so
oh,
definitely reading this well, and he should be able to deny this trade post going down with all of his crossbow.
yeah, that's pretty nice contribute. So did some work to like trying to predict for Justice playstyle.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not expected. I would as Japan. Oh, a little bit of a close fight coming in here.
Yeah, I should definitely favor the crossbow.
Yeah. If
Ashy
the
is
if the Ashley got on top of them, it could be rough though. Yeah.
well,
What well played from Lecastete so far. We'll see what
yeah.
happens shortly. I don't like Germany staying H2 too long. He definitely has a
Yeah,
lot of food
they
stocked up.
first with the getting a veil, pretty nice.
Yeah, that's nice. A Vil for Nulon, I'd take that any day. Looking at it, I do expect 700 coin to be the next shipment from Lecastete, and with that aging up, he has a lot of food saved up. We'll see what happens, though.
I
It
would like
does,
him repairing this trading post, which is already half HP,
yeah,
but he's right now pushing, so I guess it's fine.
yeah, I agree with that. We do see 600 coin coming in from Japan. He's probably going
Hmm.
to age up very shortly here, too.
Yeah, same feeling, and yep, taking some free kill with the crossbow.
Something that's really worth mentioning is Germany does not have two falconets in age 3.
Hmm. Yeah,
On the other hand,
this is
Japan does have flaming arrows, so he has the advantage when it comes to military shipments in Age 3 in a lot of ways. Germany has amazing military shipments, but not having two falconets in Age 3 can really hurt.
But like Germany do have some strong like the Jaeger, the 12 Jaeger, the 8 skirm with 3 Ulan, the 9 Ulan are both pretty strong
Yeah,
versus Japan.
I think one of the reasons why Lecasette did not go for pikes early is he read that the opponent did not have the Heavenly Kami. Sometimes having a
Yeah,
deck that throws your opponent off is it really affects the match. Perhaps if Forjustice had Heavenly Kami
sure.
there, Lecasette wouldn't have opened with crossbows. We'll see what
Yeah, it's
happens though.
highly possible. But I believe this is the playstyle for Justice Japan, so Kazakh should have some like idea of like
Yeah.
how will he play Japan.
Yeah, it looks like For Justice prepared really well for this match. He is age 3 now. For Justice is halfway aged. He
Mhm.
has four villagers building the wonder, the right amount to make it. So basically, the first four villagers you have building an Asian wonder takes 10 seconds off per villager. The next four per villager only takes 5 seconds off. So he's trying to make the most use of
Yeah,
his
create
villagers
with
there.
the pavilion, just have enough space for the wonder. Yeah, you can see the space is quite limited. He can have no you have no other place to put down wonder.
Yeah, the Ulan could have picked off villagers building the wonder, but they didn't see that, and
Yeah, didn't tell
no
him.
villagers go down from For Justice.
Hmm. And I would like for Jesse to split a few clubs as he's doing right now to kill this low hit point training post.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kastek is trying to moving his Ulan, but well, so it's Japan, so probably no no like veils outside,
Yeah, I wanted to
and
say
so the,
thanks, Samwise, for the subscription. We appreciate you a
oh
lot. Yeah,
yeah,
the support from
thanks.
all of you guys for the ESOC channel and Age of Empires 3 is really appreciated.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Getting back to the match, we see that there is one TP out from Germany currently. Score-wise, we see Lecastete slightly ahead. Economically, we see Forjustice slightly ahead, and militarily, Forjustice is ahead too. So this is shaping to be pretty close. We see the Ashi, lots of Ashi coming out from Forjustice. Very good unit from Japan. But versus the expected War Wagon and Skirmisher unit composition that you expect from Germany, I don't know that is necessarily ideal. You definitely want to have something that is going to protect your flaming arrows.
However, Germany is aging to industrial.
Nice.
With a 1,000 coin.
Yeah, so industrial. In H4, Germany does have some answers to the cannons. They have 2 heavy cannons. Of course, the 10 Polish winged hussars, and then both factories is really, really nice cards. He definitely not expected to go to H4. This might throw Forjustice's plan off a little bit. As you can see, he's been sitting back, and he was not expecting this. So, well played from Lecastete. We see that Lecastete is behind, perhaps, militarily. He aged up with the 2 Falconets. That's a really good choice. Now he's going to be able to...
now Germany has 2 Falconets.
Yeah, he has 2 Falconets, and he is going to be able to defend, I think, if Japan were to push out. I think perhaps not having Heavenly Kami is really going to hurt Forjustice in this game. His economy is not... His economy is pretty decent in all reality, and he's built a decent amount of shrines around the map, but he's...
Not as good as it could be.
Right. Japan's economy is infamous, and we see that Lecastete being H4, having the tech advantage, being up in score over the opponent. We'll see how this plays out. This is actually a pretty close game, 49-35 in economy score. That's pretty close. Intervention in H4. Interesting shipment.
It's another 10 or 11 Contra Yamabushi.
So,
it's an interesting choice.
I think he needs more anti-infantry, honestly. Two heavy cannons, 2 falconets, some more wagons, Ulans, and crossbow out from Germany. Very good army composition here. We'll see what Japan does in response. Perhaps 2 flaming arrows would be a good choice. He's going to need something, though, here.
But the Wonder is already done. It's a pretty nice damage done. And the heavy cannon actually has the same range as the flame arrow, so it's pretty tough to hold. Oh, a nice micro, taking 3 shots on the Falconet, almost taking down both.
Yeah, we see the TC being garrisoned, very few cherry orchards out from Forjustice. This is looking really, really good from Lecastete. There is no food left on the cherry orchard from Forjustice.
No food for Japan anymore.
Japan needs to push out now. He does not have any choice. If he does not take out this army now, he's going to lose the game. We'll see what happens in this fight, though.
It's not enough skirmisher, and the heavy cannon is being killed by almost freely.
Yeah, that was perhaps some pretty poor fighting out from Lecastete. We do see lots, all of Forjustice's villagers onto a few trees there. Really, really good push out from Forjustice. He does that really, really well. Well done by him. Lecastete did not have enough support troops out for his artillery there.
I would say Lecastete is pushing too early. He just only have 1 industrial shipment. If he also has the... Oh no, so he doesn't have the skirmisher shipment, but maybe a factory, or even the 10 wing hussar. They're both fine versus those units.
I wouldn't go winged hussar versus this many Ashi. Factories probably are the way to go. Looking at his deck, the Jaegers is a possibility. Oh, nice raid from the Ulan. Finally gets a really good. Wow, that's a lot going down.
Yeah, probably 6 or 7 villagers. That's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's really huge actually.
Going down for Justice.
A castle, so he's wanting to get some flaming arrows out. It's looking like he is not going to age to 4 anytime soon. Having flaming arrows and Ashi out, H3 Ashi, can deal with the army that you expect from Germany in Age 4, though, I think.
Yeah, it's possible. Um, However, I would like Forjustice getting the Eastern medicine. That's pretty being buffed with like lower cost. I mean, so giving like the equivalence to the great coats to those villager. So could save a few if he had that.
Yeah, that's a decent point. We do see with the factories coming out, Germany has a strong lead economically now. Factories are
Mm-hmm.
just affect your economy so much. Very nicely done from
Yeah,
him.
10 pretty strong shipment.
Yeah, we see the Ashley coming in for a raid on the right-hand side, though. That's pretty big. We'll see how many villagers it takes down. The villagers from Germany do have great coats, but those H3 Ashley are going to make short work of villagers. 2 villagers
Yeah.
going down. We'll see if he goes for more. He saw the ones on the hunt, or at least they walked by them. Whether he actually saw them or not is another
Well, I
question.
believe Forjustice is planning to kill the mine, the villager on the mine. So
Yeah.
a lot of war wagon moving back.
Yeah, it's a
And
good
both
point.
factory is done for justice. So whoa, they're both on the mass production, so we'll be pumping out more and more heavy cannon.
Yeah, heavy cannons, war wagons, pretty good unit composition, but I think perhaps like the Ashy and the Flaming Arrows more. The Flaming Arrows have the same range as the heavy cannon, but have a little bit more multipliers versus them. It's pretty close between the two, but war wagons versus Ashy, I give the advantage over to Ashy slightly.
Yeah, for sure.
Though Age 4 war wagons, once he makes them guard, are going to be really strong. Let's see if he does that soon or not.
True. Well, Ashy also has a lot of upgrade. I mean, both from the pavilion and the close combat is already in.
That's a good point.
So
He also has Yabusami coming out. Yabusami are excellent, very, very good versus artillery, and they're pretty good versus cavalry. They're not good versus anything else, though. They have a low ranged attack with heavy multipliers versus cavalry and cannons.
they're like specialized cav archer unit.
Yeah. Looking at this fight coming up, I really like the Ashy versus the War Wagons, but the heavy cannons out from Lecastete could change this matchup, this fight for sure. I expect that Flaming Arrow to be going down.
For those War Wagon. Oh, taking the Flame Arrow for free?
Yeah, that definitely not microing super well from Forjustice with that Flaming Arrow.
Even kiting the Ashy with the War Wagon.
Yeah, well done. We do see the war wagons do have more range and more speed, so they are able to do that. Perhaps going Yumi in this situation, having some more Yumi out would be a really nice choice.
Yeah, but Catholic do have quite a few Ulan with the H4 ship. Oh, another Ashy raid, but there's no villager on the coin, and they're basically here.
Yeah,
Forjustice could have a big raid down here, but he's not going to that way.
He's focusing so hard on the mines, he's not paying attention to the hunts. He has scouted this. He would be able to see the hunts being gathered from if he was paying attention, but he's focusing just on the mines.
Also, Forjustice is throwing down a lot of anti-shrine. It's questionable. Just throw them in the corner, and like it would be tough for Germany to push those.
Yeah, you could also use them around your base as a little bit of pathing if you're trying to go more Yumi composition. We do see more Yumi coming out from Lecastete. That's not a shipment. He did actually build those. We'll see what he does with it.
And whoa, he has 70 Ashy.
We see the Age 3 veteran Ulans coming in on top of the Ashy there. We'll see what the Ashy does versus them. They do have the card that gives them a huge multiplier.
Be a good fight for those Ashy. But
yeah, the Ashy traded pretty well, all things considered. Yeah, all of the Ulan going down, they're going to have to run away. Well done from them. Ashy, like you can see, very strong multipliers versus Cav and melee.
Yeah, this is the effect of this close combat. Give you additional, multiplier against the against cavalry.
Yeah.
So with this card, the Ashy is pretty good anti-cav, and if compared to the one without the close combat. So close combat is kind of a good like anti-cav shipment. I will say.
Yeah, taking a look at the card real quick for people that are interested. It gives 15% more hit points to the Musketeers and +1 times multiplier versus Cavalry, making the Ashy have a 4.5 multiplier versus Cav, and you can see the effect of that in that fight.
A huge mass of War Wagon, 22 actually, pushing to the base again.
Yeah,
A little bit
22 war wagons, 6 heavy cannons out on the map, 2 more reinforcing. That's going to be really hard for Justice to deal
and Wing
with.
Hasta coming out.
Yeah, wing to start, nice. That's going to make sure that keep the opponent's army composition honest and not having too many Yumi in there.
Oh, yeah, Busami do coming
Yeah,
out.
the Yabusami are going to have to make work on these heavy cannons.
Oh, it did really almost like very few damage to those heavy
Look
cannons.
at those infantry going down. That is so many infantry going down from the heavy
Whoa,
cannons.
heavy cannon is quite strong. Whoa, that's like very huge
Dang.
volley.
The heavy cannons pretty much just soloed all of the infantry there. Well done
Yeah.
from them. Good micro, good game plan from Lecastete. We see that game number 3 is taken by Lecastete. This is not a game that was decided by economy solely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really well played. We see that Forjustice's build order of not going with Heavenly Kami and not going very strong economically perhaps did affect him. But, yeah, well played from him. The factories building heavy cannons really nicely done from Lecastete.
Yeah, nice playing by Katek as the German industrial play with both four shipment and kind of have a deciding fight. Despite the previous one is kind of not so good, going so good.
Yeah, we saw lots of Ashy trying to raid, and they actually did really well versus the Ulans. They didn't pick up as many villagers as he would have liked, though. I can't look at the units lost, but it was somewhere around something like 5 villagers and 1 settler wagon going down for Germany the whole time. That's not enough for how many Ashy you used to try to raid.
Well, and also the raid on those villager by on for Justice is quite huge. It's losing 43 to 30, 38. So losing actually 5 or 6 villager on the coin mine. So it's a pretty huge on his economy.
Yeah, Lecastete doing really well, raiding on that mine in the middle of the game. Well done by him. We see, looking at the military population, it was actually really close most of the game, but we see that Lecastete pulling away with the victory at the end there. Villager population, slight lead over to Forjustice, but the factories making up that difference and resources gathered. We see that Forjustice had more resources gathered pretty much the whole game. It was pretty close up until Lecastete hit age 4, but edging out those factories and the factories going on to heavy cannons, we see the difference there. We see the economy difference is almost 6,000, 5,500, almost 6,000 difference. So yeah, Lecastete just doing more with less resources.
Well, the heavy cannon is counted as free unit, I believe, so that should definitely be included.
That's a really good point. Yes, the heavy cannons do not cost resources to make from the factory, so you could put the economy as fairly close there. By the end, perhaps Forjustice had slightly more resources gathered, but really, really well done from Lecastete. That concludes game number 3. 2-1 advantage over to Lecastete. We'll see what happens in game number 4.
Yeah. So the heavy cannon play is quite a solid play by Lecastete.
Yeah, really solid play there. Does well in that fight. We're going to see what happens with the next game here shortly. Wadmala is the map, and it looks like Forjustice. Yes, Forjustice picks first. It looks like he has locked in Ottomans. We'll see what Lecastete answers with.
Oh, Forjustice just saying like he has not sleep for 24 hours.
What the heck?
He says he's pretty tired right now.
Well, that's either a lot of adrenaline,
Yeah, maybe.
or perhaps he could have prepared slightly better, not sleeping for
Yeah,
24 hours
he
before a match.
like, messing a little bit his like schedule. He just say.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, this is the schedule, so
Yeah.
we have to move on.
Yeah, for sure. And it's already been rescheduled twice, but Forjustice
Yeah.
doing a lot. Yeah, he's taken one game off of Lecastete. We'll see what happens in game number 4 here.
Yeah.
Ottomans
Yep.
is very strong in this meta. The Botto FF very strong. There's other options, of course. I saw Ottomans on this map one time. I go for C early, an unexpected play from him, but it turned out to be very, very effective. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent sea map. So like you can have a lot of like fishing boat, and also has 7 wells. So even pretty good. I mean in late game. So going sea is definitely an option for both player. However, I believe Castek is rather a land player, not focusing on the sea play himself. So I would expect like land play from him.
Yeah, thanks Blank for the subscription. We appreciate your support of Age of Empires 3 and the ESOC channel.
Yeah,
Looking,
great support. Thanks a lot.
yeah, this map favors players that prepare for it heavily. You've got islands with cows, a
Yeah.
mine, berry bushes. This map, you have to you have to come in with a strong game plan. You do not have any room to retreat outside of your base. You don't have any additional hunts or mines behind your base, excluding
Hmm.
the island, if you will.
Yeah.
Players also start with the canoe. We see the canoe being used often to pick up treasures.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting play of the canoe. Can also like trying to sneak some army or like to the like corner or doing some France being pulling out.
Yeah, it is a Civ reset for game number 4, so
Mhm.
France is available. It is France versus Ottomans, game number 4. This is EPL Season 2. This is the Week 4 matchup, despite it being in Week 5. It was rescheduled a couple times, and it is Forjustice versus Lecastete. Lecastete is uh, up
One
2 to
point.
1,
Yeah.
so we'll see what happens here.
Yep. Matchup is Auto versus France, and let's see if any good like C play or other type of play will happen.
Yeah, for sure. It can be really interesting on this map. I don't know what to expect. Ottomans definitely the meta would be for him to do an FF. It's really hard to do a surprise barracks that we saw. The last time I saw Ottomans played in a match, 1v1
Oh, you
match.
mean the double racks chain
Yeah,
rush?
the double racks Jan rush. Uh, Barracks being put behind the opponents on Dhaka. I don't expect anything like that here. Pretty hard to hide your military
Maybe put
buildings.
double racks on here on the island.
Possibility, but highly unlikely.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, looking at it, we see it was a wood start.
Mhm.
So we see that Ottomans goes for a TP right away, of course. Also building a mosque. It looks like Kastet is going to be going for a TP himself.
Yeah, he's trying to pull the explorer with the native scout.
Very
I mean,
nice.
pretty.
Yeah. He's trying to make the explorer get to that trade post as fast as possible. Pulls it with
Yeah,
a scout, and he should probably get that trading post up before the trade traverse comes by.
yeah, he should. Yeah, he could. Yeah, pretty nice play.
Yeah, very nice. Looking around the map, we see that the canoe from Castet is picking off the treasure guardians and gonna unlock this 100 wood crates. He's gonna have to gather that with a villager, but still nicely done from him. On the other hand, the canoe from For Justice has not picked up any treasure guardians on the other side.
He's fishing with the canoe, which is also fine, but like it should be better with like picking treasure.
Yeah, I really, really value map vision and knowing what's on the map. It allows for a lot of different things, and looking at what has been scouted, we see that Castet has done more with his canoe, scouting more. Yeah, nice
Yeah.
job picking up that food. We see that For Justice is sitting there, gonna
Oh,
not.
nice. a treasure contention.
Oh, it looks like Forjustice takes it. Sorry, like Lecastete. Oh, Lecastete moved back. He had that.
Yeah, he grew up. What's wrong with this? I'm a
Lecastete.
little bit confused. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit misclick or something.
It could have been a misclick. I'm pretty sure Lecastete had that. He was starting to gather it first. 70 food just scouted out by Forjustice, though. Ottomans age up early. That is just what they do. Their villagers not taking any food and training automatically, but slower from the TC. Enables Ottomans to pretty much always age up. One of the very first civilizations to be able to do that. We do see that the canoe out from Lecastete picks up a villager. Oh, nice! He's going to pick up the 100 wood with that, the 100 wood
Yeah,
crates.
that's a good point. Yeah, save a lot of working time.
Yeah, that's just villager.
8.5 speed, pretty fast.
Yeah, villager second saved. It is interesting to note he did that before aging to 3, or before even starting to age 2, I mean. So very interesting choice for him to do it at that timing. Yeah.
Forjustice is like getting more wood, probably putting down a training post.
Yeah, it could be.
The
We'll look at the decks real quick for you guys. We see that there's lots of crate shipments for Ottomans, H2 and H3, missing 600 coin, but that is totally, 600 food, but that's totally fine. Does have all of the Avis gun upgrades. That's an interesting thing to note.
So pretty pure land deck.
Yeah, definitely a land deck. Looking at Lecastette's deck, he does have 2 caravels and 1 frigate. So definite options there. Not so much to boom on sea, but to control sea if he decides to.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard map. Sea map for Lecastete.
Yeah, looking at the decks, we don't know whether players are going to go for H2 aggression or H3. Both are definitely an option here.
Yeah. The Rax is up for Justice, and the native scout is getting a good vision here again.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Native.
I really, really appreciate French players and any player that has picked up a native scout using that scout effectively. It gives a lot of information. It allows you to prepare for what the opponent's doing and counter what they're doing.
Pretty nice play by Lecastete.
Yeah. We do see Lecastete trying to pick up these cows here with the canoe.
I guess it's not possible. Maybe he can transfer his Vil.
He would be able to transfer his Vil, but he is just sitting there with it, not focusing on it at the moment. Barracks out from Lecastete. He's probably going to be going for Expo, would be my guess, versus the Janissaries.
Oh, 5 Janissary.
Yeah, 5 Janissaries. We see another barracks here, but not started building yet. Interesting there. Perhaps a shift click problem or
probably
miss micro. Yeah, it looks like Ottomans is trying to just focus on this trade post. He probably wants to get Stagecoach out. Stagecoach is already out. Well done by him. Another batch of Janissaries. Oh, you know what happened? The scout is on top of that barracks. Oh my. So, yeah, perhaps if
the shift click will bug and like the villager will just move back and Forjustice will not be noticed.
Yeah, Forjustice perhaps has not noticed this. If it does kind of give away that a scout is there if he is paying attention though. Really well done from Lecastete. I think he did that intentionally.
Nice use of the scout.
Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional or not. He, of course, can't see where the barracks was being placed, but if it was, really well done from him. Looking at the resources from Forjustice, it's not something that's the end of the world, though, because he doesn't have a whole lot of floating resources, but really well done. Lots of Janissaries out.
Yeah, that's tons of Janissary. I'm still not sure about his. A double Rax versus I mean, versus friends might not be the optimum place.
So we see that Forjustice deletes that barracks because he expects the scout to still be there, and he builds it in a different place. The scout had already moved off, though. A little bit of funny play there. We see
Yeah,
that the Janissaries are coming in, though, and we see pretty much no units out from Lecastete. What's he gonna
yeah.
do here? He is almost age 3. He's gonna have to defend for the time being. That's a decent amount of Janissaries out, though. 25 Janissaries is nothing to laugh at. This is gonna be rough
Well,
for
yeah,
Lecastete.
Cassidy is aware of it. He already has great code and he is getting the blunderbuss,
Yeah,
so should be able to defend with the crowdable. Oh, nice pull. Not enough.
yeah, we do see a CDB taken down, and the Janissaries pulled back. Uh,
Huh.
that that's a mistake. That perhaps, of course, we can see from an eagle eye and see the whole map, see what's going on. We know that Lecastete was hitting age 3, but I don't know what to make of that. There, we see that Forjustice has lots
Hmm.
of coin out,
This
has
is
enough coin
going to
out.
aid.
Yeah, he might be going. He might be waiting on 700 food, but he should be able to age up before that comes in, anyways.
He has a hunting dog, so should be able to gather enough food. Maybe even put trading posts on food for this moment to get faster fortress. And Cast is pushing out with the musket and the skirmisher. Yep, pretty good decision.
Yeah, the skirmishers are going to be able to kite this, but not take a heads-up fight with them. Really close here.
Yep.
That was a really interesting choice from Forjustice to not go in. He had 25 Janissaries at least, and he saw that the opponent did not have a large army. He just aged up. Yeah, that was an interesting choice. Perhaps it was the right one. If he hits age 3 and still has all of these Janissaries in alive and healthy and has the 2 Falconets out, it could be really nice. We'll see what happens here though.
Yeah, it could be. And Castet is not does not has a stable, and he is running out of resource in base, so it's pretty tough for him. Like he will not. Oh, nice micro and also pulling trick.
Yeah, very nice pulling. The Janissaries going in on top of the skirmishers. They are able to get a few down, but lots of Janissaries have gone down. We can look and
Yeah,
see how many have been
definitely
lost
a
so
good
far.
fight for friends.
Yeah, 8 Janissaries have been lost so far. I expect, yes, veteran Janissary coming in, and I expect the 2 Falconets to be coming out soon from Forjustice. We see Lecastete
Yep.
has already shipped the 2 Falconets, and they're coming forward, though.
Yeah, it's really like a Falk War. Anyone who win the Falk War should definitely be in the lead.
Yeah, we see neither player has any military units in queue. That's an interesting choice. Very, very interesting choice. We see the second barracks come out, and these Janissaries were not upgraded in time. So he's going to
Oh, that's
need to get
really
another barracks
unfortunate.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, he's putting 4 on the racks, but he still need another 40 minutes. Oh, I mean 14 seconds to get. Oh, the Falconet is unpacked. Let's see what will happen this game.
Yeah, we see economy lead over to Lecastete, but the 2 stagecoach TPs evens that up a little bit. We'll see what happens here shortly. This Falconets, if one player comes away with 2 Falconets still alive, they might just kind of outright win
Oh,
the game.
oh, the native scout is so huge. It will give the vision of the Falconet by Forjustice. So
Yeah, it is
maybe.
really nice. Yeah, there is more line of sight on the Falconets than they actually have range, so it allows you to micro without a fear of it. But it does help to know whether they are unpacked or not. That's pretty
Yeah.
important. Knowing if they're not unpacked and they're moving forward, then your Falconets would be able to have the advantage there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And 1,000 wood for Castek, he may able to put down a trading post and
Yeah,
maybe a foundry to have more falconet or covering. Without the falconet, those janissary will just not being able to kill those skirmisher. And the Musk skirm by the French player is pretty decent.
Yeah, for sure. I like the Musk Skirm. Perhaps Forjustice could go Abus or keep up with the cannons and the Janissaries. This
Mm-hmm.
both players know the cannons are super important here.
Oh, under
It's
the volley. Yeah, the Janissaries are being killed by three almost.
yeah.
In Janissaries and
The
some
Falconets,
volley.
here they go. They're gonna be fighting each other. It looks like.
Yeah, this is the most important fight in the game. For in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
They see how hard they're microing them, trying to gain an advantage.
Oh, get a volley on the. Oh, wow, that's a lot of volley.
Oh, and one
Oh,
Falconet goes down.
no, the first
That is
volley by.
huge. That is
Yeah,
huge.
probably
And
that's
also
over.
mass advantage over to Lecastete. I think he might just
Yeah,
win this game just because of that. We'll see what happens with the Falconets, though.
yeah, that's pretty over.
I think he needs to just go forward with the Falconets. Yeah, GG. Yeah, well played.
Okay.
All right, so that is 3-1 over to Lecastete. So we are going into game number 5 in just a moment. We'll take a look at the post game there. Yeah, I think that game just kind of came down to the Falconets and the better micro from Lecastete on them.
Yeah.
Not only did he take the advantage in the Falconets, he took one out, but he also got some really nice volleys onto the Janissaries in the dance between the
Yeah, with
Falconets
his
there.
skirmisher, nice split of fire onto like killing like 2 or 3 Janissary once a time.
Yeah. Taking a look at the post-game stats, we see that the economy really took off for Lecastete around the 10-minute 30-second mark, and it was hard for Justice to keep up with that there. We'll look at the military unit population for you guys. We see that for Justice, perhaps he should have pushed in when he had 25 Janissaries and the opponent just hit age 3. It would have denied the possibility of sending Falconets and even the effectiveness of skirms, but he did not do so there. Perhaps he didn't know how big of a military mass Lecastete had. Looking at everything else, the villager population lead, as is expected, strongly in favor of France. Something you don't see here is that it's actually 1.25 times stronger villager advantage here due to the CDB being worth 1.25 normal villagers. That
Mm-hmm.
that concludes game number 4. We will get into the next game shortly. That is 3-1 in favor of Lecastete. We'll see if Forjustice can take a game off of him in game number 5.
Yep, let's see. Yeah, so Castex is already take the series, but yeah, this is a playoff fight, so we will definitely play the last game, and let's see if Forjustice can take another game.
The map is Iowa.
Yep.
Forjustice played Ottomans. On this map, while an FF is definitely viable, it's not necessarily as strong as on other maps. We see on this map, civilizations that have the ability to raid well have a large advantage. We'll see what
Yeah.
the players go with though.
It's pretty low hunt map and also low mine. Like the mine in the base are or T mine with only 1.5k coin, so should be pretty low in base resource.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of hunts or mines that are safe. There's a decent amount on the map, but it requires you to protect your villagers or have map control. That's why raiding is so effective on this map.
Yep.
One
A decent pick here.
one
Dutch.
one answer to not having as many natural resources safe on the map is going a civilization like Japan or Dutch, and we see
Yeah.
that Lecastete does go with Dutch here. It allows your mines to last a lot longer, and it gives you a lot more options when pushing out. If he herds really well, he will actually be able to stay in base for a while.
Dutch is yeah, as you say, Dutch is a pretty decent pick here. So let's see. Maybe he's also expecting for Jesse going to Japan again. So Dutch is a decent. Well, with the buff, it's a decent versus Dutch versus Japan. Oh, Aztec. Okay, it's also pretty solid.
Dutch versus Aztec. All right, so What this tells me is versus Dutch on EP have very strong economy if you let them boom it out, but a lot better than Aztec for sure. But Aztec has the ability to put a lot of pressure early, and one of the more recent builds that we've seen in this meta is going something like 3 vills, 700 wood, 600 wood, or military shipments, and getting tons of coyote runners or maces out, along with aging up to with a 2 war hut, so you're able to pump a whole lot out really fast. That's what I kind of expect here. Versus Dutch, you need something that is able to punish the ability to boom really hard. We'll see what happens here, though. Skirmishers are very strong in Age 2. Dutch has the ability to make those. This could
Yep.
be interesting here.
Yeah, let's see. Check the map real quick. Looks like a pretty decent spawn.
Yeah,
In the
the for sure. It's very uh, close map. This is as fair as you get ever. Both players have 2 mines. It is worth noting that 1 mine for Justice is pretty far forward, but that is we're not going to restart a map just because of that. We see each player
yeah,
starts.
should be.
We see each player starts with a 1.5 bison. Bison hunts, 4 of the starting, and then another hunt close by, and then all the hunts and mines are very mirrored on the map. That's really nice to see a nice map generation for all of these games.
Hmm. And it looks like it's a wood start, and both players are not picking their wood crate.
Yeah, as Aztec, I think that's a decent choice. You could go for a trade post early and then hope to find some wood treasure and get the fire pit out a little bit later. That's an option I've seen some players do. Although if you're trying to go for really early aggression, perhaps it's better to just age up quickly and use that wood for units later.
Hmm.
On the
And
other
it's
hand, go ahead.
possible. Okay, and he does not have the 3 trading post Trevor in the deck,
Yeah,
so it's a possibility.
Yeah, it is a possibility, right? He does have the Coyote Combat that is provides 10% more speed and 20% more hit points onto your Coyotes. I like
Hmm.
that choice, especially in this matchup versus Dutch, where a lot of skirmishers is a distinct option.
Yeah, Coyote Combat's a pretty decent one in the for Azak. Actually, it's the only upgrade card for him for it in the Clone Age, so
Yeah, yeah,
should take it.
that's a good point. You do not have a lot of cards in Age 2 that upgrades your military units. For Dutch, we see a pretty standard deck, very standard deck in all reality. Lots of H3 military shipments. He could go for that sooner than later, but he would need to defend early, make sure that Aztecs does not win the game in Age 2. And in Age 3, he may have the advantage because of that.
The 6 hack pill as well. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. 6 Hackapels as opposed to 12 Swiss Pike or something. I suppose
Yeah.
if you are going lots of Reuter and Skirmishers, which is a very common composition for Dutch in Age 3, being able to have a unit like the Hackapels where you don't have to upgrade your Hussar to Veteran is a decent option for sure.
Yeah, that's true. And one thing to be mentioned is that like the 4 Hussar shipment is buffed to the 5 Huss in the recent patch, so it's slightly buffed to the Dutch civilization. Hello,
Yeah, I'm
you
here.
there?
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. I just suddenly turned. It's become so quiet. I was a little bit wondering.
Yeah, I have a tendency to talk a lot.
Yeah, it's
um,
pretty tense
Yeah, we see
sometimes
that
here.
looking at the treasures picked up, we see that Castet has gotten 40 coin, 135 XP. That was really nice. He also gets 80 XP and a Native American warrior. Really nice out from him. That is 175 XP. That's like half a shipment. So really nice out from him.
Yeah.
For Justice, we see 40 XP, 75 food, 80 XP, and also a Native American warrior. So good stuff from both players. We see Lecastete picked up 70 food, and Forjustice also picked up 30 coin. We see the Aztec hero getting on top of the Dutch Explorer, and the Dutch Explorer makes it out. Really well done from him.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Oh, and Aztec
Yeah,
just
maybe
getting.
the tree has blocked the passing.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be nice to pick up that XP off of the Explorer. We do see the
yeah.
Envoy in base Forjustice. That he's able to see what he aged up with. I think that's a decent choice. I feel like I'd expect the War Huts, but he's just confirming it with that. He's also following the War Huts out, knowing where they're going to be placed down. He's making a lot happen with that Envoy. Well done by him.
Yeah, Castay is pretty active with his Atra scouting unit, whether it's the native scout or the envoy, and
Yeah.
did a pretty well job. However, envoy is not able to siege, so he could not do additional damage to those warheads. And
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
chased by those treasure garden. Yeah, envoy. One thing is about envoy is that he only has 4 speed, so like both units can chase him.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw that last game. Perhaps if he was not on top of that barracks and denying it being built, perhaps Forjustice would have come away with a victory, having more Janissaries out early. We see the importance of the scouts. Lecastete making full use of his envoy in this game and scout in last game. Really well done by him. I like that a lot.
And whoa, it's a pretty booming start by Kastek. He already has 4 bank up, and with a stable, so it's really dangerous, I would say.
I think that's a good choice. He has his buildings placed really well to defend his villagers gathering from the hunt and the mine. He is going to have enough time to get a military mass out before he has to push out for a hunt, although it is going to be really close. And he also had his envoy on top of the war huts, knowing when they would go down and knowing when the opponent is going to have units out. But he definitely needs to have military out ASAP. He's probably going to have to ship the 3 Hussar, which he does have.
So 3 Hussar is not good against those Puma.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Mid-rank can no longer rack those Puma with the time to multiplier.
Perhaps he could even send Colonial Militia here.
Yeah, Colonial Militia are pretty good. So you cannot, you can one-shoot those Puma with your town center.
Yeah.
And the bank can still work for you even your Vil are all in the town center.
Your TC with Colonial Militia does exactly 135 damage, and the Pumas have exactly 135 HP. So we see that Colonial Militia card could be the perfect answer here. We'll see what he goes with. He does not have a barracks out. Okay, a barracks is coming out now.
It's pretty defensive.
But it's pretty late versus the expected army from Forjustice.
He also take a trading post, maybe expecting Aztec trying to get the stagecoach, but it's not the case this time.
Yeah. The shipment was just sent by Lecastete. We'll see what he does with it. I don't believe Forjustice sees this barracks in the back, but it could be pretty nice to take that down. He is going for the bank here. He has a decent amount of cav out. He is getting some raids done on the opposite side. But he may need those back at home. Back at home. Looking at the military mass out from.
Attack is pretty tough for Aztec. Like you're pushing your opponents. Yeah, Colonial Militia is out.
Nice. That's very nice. It's going to allow him to do a lot here, but he's going to perhaps need more. He's going to need.
Yeah, that's a lot of army. He needs his horse backing and trying to attack with the Miniman.
Yeah, we see Lecastete has
very low. It's only. Can he get the Miniman?
He's not going to get Minutemen, and this TC is going to go down. Villager is going to go down. Perhaps, oh my goodness, that's a lot of villagers. I think this might be game, honestly. All of those villagers being idled. TC going down too. If the army from Forjustice can clean up this, then he's got the game squarely in his hands.
Yeah, like Kastek is like those villagers are dying. His house is not a good idea.
Yeah, I think this is definitely game. Forjustice did really well. Lecastete perhaps going a little bit too boomy early, not getting enough units out. Colonial Militia
Yeah,
was a
I
nice card,
don't
but perhaps a little
agree
bit late.
versus Aztec with 2 Warhead. It's
Yeah,
quite dangerous.
yeah. I like the choice to go early, but as soon as you have 3 banks out, I would not go any more versus Aztecs.
Yeah.
You age up really fast, but
Yeah, one thing to be mentioned is that Forjustice is famous for his like the 10 warriors like Fast Fortress in Fast Industrial versus Dutch.
yeah,
However, this game is a pretty all-in rush, I would say.
yeah, it's a very common meta build in this day in the current meta, and he does it, executes it really well. We
Yeah,
see Lecastete not perhaps respecting the ability to do that from Aztecs
yeah,
enough.
that's a pretty like all-in rush with like, every military shipment after the 700 wood, and even the trading post might be a mind game, like pretending he will taking the trading post line. So like Castex having a extra 200 wood spending on the trading post will slow down his build a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Also with
I'm
stable side.
okay. I'm okay with a 3 bank start, but you've got to get military out ASAP after that. We saw
Yeah,
no skirmishers created that whole game. Just Cav versus Aztec, who you expect to have some Puma out. Um,
yeah.
yeah, very very intriguing from
It's
Lecastete.
a really short one.
Yeah. We'll look at some of
Minute.
the post-game stats real quick. That was a good match, though. We see that it goes 3-2 in favor of Lecastete. Very closely played between the two players.
Yep. It's a close one. I mean, close series.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this has been Jailed Casting, Zeke co-casting. I appreciate the co-cast, Bud, and that was a really good series to watch. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, some quick games in there, but well played from both players.
It's a pretty decent series and well played by both players.